Well, friends, it's Friday. It's Friday, the 8th of January, and I want to encourage you again today to pursue the wisdom of God along with us as we look at the 8th chapter on the 8th day of January. I'm encouraged that so many of you are joining us for this little brief journey, 31 chapters in 31 days. Again, it's not unique with me or new with me. The idea of doing this, just thought this would be a good way for us to start off our new year. And if you have not begun with us yet, lots of time yet, 8 chapters, just pull it together this weekend and we can continue to do a chapter a day. Again, there's not a video every single day, but each day we do one, we will do it with respect to the chapter that we're reading that day. And consistent with our Friday feature, where we have been taking each Friday to look at the wisdom of God through other writers beyond myself, we'll be using Tim and Kathy Keller's book on the Proverbs. They actually have a 31-day or a 365-day devotional book for the year, and I'll put the link to it at the bottom of this video as well, so you can see it there and take advantage of it if you would like. So let's begin by reading Proverbs chapter 8, and then we'll see some of the thoughts from Tim and Kathy Keller as well. So the 8th chapter and verse 1 says, "Does not wisdom call? Does not understanding raise her voice? On the heights beside the way, at the crossroads she takes her stand. Beside the gates in front of the town, at the entrance of the portal, she cries aloud, quote, 'To you, O men, I call, and my cry is to the children of men. O simple ones, learn prudence. O fools, learn sense.'" Verse 6, "Hear, for I will speak noble things, and from my lips will come what is right. From my mouth will utter truth. Wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are righteous. There is nothing twisted or crooked in them. They are all straight to him who understands, and right to those who find knowledge. Take my instruction instead of silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than jewels, and all that you may desire cannot compare with her. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and I find knowledge and discretion. The fear of the Lord is hatred of evil. Pride and arrogance and the way of evil and perverted speech I hate." Verse 14, "I have counsel and sound wisdom. I have insight. I have strength. By me kings reign, and rulers decree what is just. By me princes rule, and nobles, all who govern justly. I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently find me. Riches and honor are with me, enduring wealth and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, even fine gold, and my yield better than choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, in the paths of justice, granting an inheritance to those who love me, and filling their treasures." Remember here, friends, me is the personification of wisdom. She is crying out and telling us to follow her. In verse 22, "The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his work, the first of his acts of old. Ages ago I was set up, at the first, before the beginning of the earth. Where there were no depths I was brought forth, when there were no springs abounding with water. Before the mountains had been shaped, before the hills I was brought forth, before he had made the earth with its field, or the first dust of the world. When he established the heavens, I was there. When he drew a circle in the face of the deep, when he made firm the skies above, when he established the fountains of the deep, when he assigned to the sea its limit, so that the waters might not transgress his command, when he marked out the foundations of the earth, then I was beside him. Like a master workman, I was his daily delight, rejoicing before him always, rejoicing in his inhabited world, and delighting the children of man. And now, O sons, listen to me. Blessed are those who keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and do not neglect it. Blessed is the one who listens to me, watching daily at my gates, watching beside my doors. For whoever finds me finds life, and obtains favor from the Lord. But he who fails to find me injures himself, and all who hate me love death." And so that's Proverbs number 8. And so Tim and Kathy Keller have written this book on God's wisdom for navigating life through the study of the Proverbs. And so let's hear some of their wisdom as they reflect on the wisdom of these passages. They first begin with a reflection on verses 4 and 5. Proverbs chapter 8, they say, makes a grand case for the supreme importance of godly wisdom. True wisdom cries out to all people, including even the simple, the verse says, to those who are even extremely gullible and foolish. No one needs, the text says, to remain a fool. Perhaps the greatest encouragement in this passage is easily missed. Wisdom is literally seeking us. Proverbs chapter 8 depicts wisdom as an actual person. And one writer puts it this way, depicts it as an actual person so that our own search, earnest as it may be, is a response, not an uncertain quest. Now, who is that person that is seeking us? Well, the New Testament reveals it to be Jesus himself. As 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 24 says, that Jesus himself is the power of God and the wisdom of God. Greek philosophers believed that behind the universe there was a cosmic principle, the logos, that only the educated and cultured could discover. But the Gospel of John reveals that the logos behind the universe is Jesus, himself a cosmic person who can be known and loved. So in the end, the main way to become wise is to have a personal relationship with him and to set our heart on him. Anyone can do that, regardless of status or behavior. They have a second thought that includes reflections on verses 12 to 13. To be wise, they say, is to have the prudence and discretion that brings success. Then again in verse 13, it speaks of hating arrogance and pride. We must never divide verse 12 from verse 13. The reason is that it shows that arrogance and conceit are faults that one person says, to which shrewd and clever persons are especially prone. Without awe and wonder, that is fear before God, success can easily and usually does lead to a sense of superiority. Then the spiral begins. Pride moves you towards foolishness, such as overconfidence in your intuition, which ultimately results in bad decisions and your own personal downfall. They write, moral character is to success what a safety is to a gun. Quote, it keeps you from shooting yourself with it. He writes, true wisdom is canny and resourceful, writes Alex Kinder. And it is the reason that only being rooted in the fear of the Lord, that wisdom can keep us from the faults of worldly wisdom. Don't miss the fact that the word hate is used twice. And the second time it's actually spoken by wisdom. What is repugnant to godliness is repugnant to wisdom. There is no conflict of interest. If you have been enjoying any success, they ask us, have you been secretly taking credit for it? Or do you see it as a gift of God to you? That it is. Their third reflection goes down to verses 14 to 19 of this chapter. And they write this, all things that create success, the right plan, the strategic resources to carry it out, and the boldness to execute it, all those things belong to wisdom. That's how he says it in verse 14. Counsel and sound judgment are mine. I have insight, I have power. That's wisdom speaking in verse 14. All accomplishments, therefore, means it's not mere luck, but that accomplishments are grounded in the attributes of wisdom. The wise are themselves practical. Yet true wisdom sees success as only a byproduct, not the main goal. Wisdom brings enduring wealth. That's a Hebrew term that means an inner richness of joy and divine favor that's better than fine gold, as verse 19 reminds us. Perhaps it would be best to say that real wisdom tends toward prosperity, but prosperity itself is never the wise person's ultimate goal. The Kellers say, the wise do what they do, not because it is satisfying or because it works, but because it is right and loving to God and His creation. Success may come or not, but that is not the point. If you see success as a possible byproduct, not the main goal of wisdom, then you will indeed be wise. Even if, quote, your hand shall flow with gold, yet over you gold will have no dominion. Do you tend, they challenge us with the question, do you tend to be either too concerned with results and practical success, or in fact too unconcerned? And so you notice in that text that there's a lot of reflection on how the issue of, the idea of, or the concept of wisdom is personified again as a person and as a female person, that wisdom is referred to as she. And so you've got this sort of very real life connection to the person of wisdom, who ultimately is pointed forward to see that it really is the Lord Jesus Christ Himself, the power of God and the wisdom of God. So the wonderful truth of the scriptures is that they always point forward, even in their personification, to the very person Himself of the Lord Jesus Christ and to our relationship with Him. Tricia, have a good day in the Lord today, friends. Sure, looking forward to joining you on Sunday morning, 11 o'clock on our live stream at the same spot that you're watching this video this morning. Enjoy your day in the Lord today, friends. Good. Cheers.